Chapter 2. Chapter 2. Farrington by Robert Bronovitsky. Right, chapter 2. Let's see, where were we? In F block. So yeah, we used to go to F block and have these beef burgers with onions and these incredible cups of coffee. They were really delicious, and I think they're in those glass cups, you know, a cup made of glass with a saucer made of that thick glass. And we used to sit down in F block and it'd be freezing cold outside, raining and foggy and snowing, and maybe we started off with things like a sandwich or a cup of coffee, and then somebody had the idea to have a burger with onions, and I think that'll have been Farrington. So he come back, you know, at 9:30 in the morning was very unusual, or 10 o'clock or 10:30. Just say that we had a lecture at 11 o'clock, so you kind of get into F block about 9:30 or so, not really 9 o'clock, that's a bit early. And what happened was we'd get these burgers and onions and drink cups of coffee with it, and sure enough loads of people out of Priory Hall had come in, you know, it became like a little meeting place at Polytechnic. And we'd just sit there talking, wouldn't we? And in those days we used to smoke. I mean, I used to smoke cigarettes. We used to sit in that coffee bar smoking cigarettes and just talking. And then some days we'd be there, on a Friday particularly. But mind you, I think we used to go in there nearly every day, you know, because it was so close to where we had lectures. And the economics lot would come in. Economics students would have been sitting on the 3rd floor, or 4th floor was business law, 3rd floor economics, business studies students, and you get talking to them and you'd see the textbooks and you'd know what was going through their heads, you know. They were working out marginal costs and average costs, and looking at perfect competition and imperfect competition, and I did it myself, you know, subsidiary subjects. And you'd have Lipsy and you'd have Samuelson, and so you could have a chat with anybody. Business studies student would be doing economics, economics students, chemistry students actually did economics as a subsid. It's a strange thing, it was a very prevalent subject in Polytechnic. I don't know why. And I remember saying this at the school I worked at. I said it to a physics teacher, a maths teacher. I was saying, you know, everybody had these economics books, real big thick one, about 500 pages. Boring as shit, you know, the most boring thing you'd ever read, but important, you know. Anyway, we'd sit in there and it'd be pouring down outside, and sometimes, or at least on one occasion, I thought, God, I've been in this place all day. I've been in here from 9 o'clock till 5 o'clock, and then we were just waiting for opening time, which is 5:30, used to be when the pubs opened. So we were just waiting for the Union Bar to open at 5:30 and then go in there, say about 6, not to look too desperate for a drink, you know. Go in there about 6, 6:30. Because then we would have shifted over to the art faculty library and had your evening meal there, have your dinner, which should be something like steak and kidney pie, chips, peas, gravy with onions, and I had a spotty face, so I decided I'd have to cut the chips out and eat mashed potatoes, or roast potatoes, or boiled potatoes, but not chips. And of course lots of us had those spots, and doctor was giving us these creams, you know, to put on your face, and it was like taking all your skin off your face. It was like a little white, it was a little bottle, plastic bottle, of this white fluid that sort of dried your skin out. And I had it, and Bernie had it, and Tony had it at one time. And then you get these tablets, these yellow tablets to take, to kind of clean your blood out, you know, whatever else, you know. But anyway, you'd have this, and your face would be all peeled. And I remember, you know, we're obviously at that age, you're still wanting to get some women, you know, and I used to go on the disco, you know, dance floor, ultraviolet lights, but I never used to go on there when it was too bright, because I thought they'd see me spots, so I had to wait till it was dark to go and chat them up, and usually you'd have to be pissed as well. It's a funny thing really, but you kind of needed all these things to approach women, you know, well, you know, student birds, and so you had all these hang-ups, you know, and they had them as well. They must have had plenty of hang-ups as well. You know what women are like, bloody hell, hang-ups about everything. And so I used to have these discos, and they had all kinds of discos in different societies, they're called. Society was like the Law Society, or the Film Society, and people would run these clubs, and you become a member and go along once every 2 weeks or whatever the arrangement they had. So it was a great part of Polytechnic. The first year was quite hard going, because you were really kind of studying, you're socialising, but you're kind of more fraught. First year is quite tough. Second year you kind of know how to play it, and third year you got your finals, so you're playing it a bit, but you know you've got your big exams coming up. So second year is a bit of a skive off. Mind you, still got all your work to do, so there's no such thing as skiving. My second year had sociology of development. That was tough. That was a really tough subject. I was always failing exams because it was so difficult. But I'm glad I did it, and that's where I met Farrington, you know. And today he's going over from Denmark to see his mother near Wigan in Lee. So now he's got his smartphone. He might well be on. Now he's got his smartphone. He may well be on Facebook this evening, whereas before he couldn't get on Facebook because he didn't have any access at his mother's house to a computer. So he's going over there about 9 o'clock tonight, he said. You can tell I'm trying to pronounce all my T's and speak good English so you can understand me. Hey, 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 hey. What was I going to say? So it's like a novel. So I'm writing this as a book, you know. This is going to be chapter 2, Farrington, and then F block, I'll call this one. Chapter 2, Farrington. Farrington, chapter 2, F block. And of course Farrington knows what F block is, but you people don't know what F block is. F block is it was the main administration building of the Polytechnic, and it had a cafe underneath, and we used to go there, like a restaurant and a cafe, you know. You get meals there, snack bar. It was fantastic. It was lovely and warm down there. When you think, fucking hell, now you think how cold it is, like today and yesterday. You used to go in there and you're lovely and warm and get loads of good food, and then you go out and get pissed, you know. It was great. You couldn't have a life as good as that. When you get to work, it's like death, Rob the Slob said. Anyway, 10 minutes is up. So, end.